Most potential 2012 Republican presidential hopefuls came to Washington this weekend to address a gathering of conservative activists. And one of the contenders is Mississippi Governor Haley Barbour. Governor, welcome back to Fox News Sunday.
Hey, Chris. Thanks for having me back.
You said last year you're the governor of a poor state, you have a distinct drawl, and you were a big-time Washington lobbyist for a decade. You said some people would consider those handicaps for running for president. You don't. Why not?
Well, I'm a lobbyist and had a career lobbying. The guy who gets elected, or lady who gets elected president of the United States, will immediately be lobbying. They'll be advocating to the Congress. They'll be lobbying our allies and our adversaries overseas. They'll be asking the business community, the labor unions. That's what presidents do for a living. Presidents try to sell what's good for America to others in the world as well as to Americans. Ronald Reagan was the ultimate lobbyist, the great communicator.
CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference that you were at this weekend, they did a straw poll last night, and we want to put up the results. Ron Paul got 30%, Mitt Romney got 23%, everybody else was in single digits, and way back, quite frankly, in last place was Haley Barbour at 1%. I want to get your reaction to that, and also as you look at what, for lack of a better term, we would call the front runners at this point, Romney, Huckabee, Palin, Gingrich, what do you offer that they don't?
Well, let me say first of all about the straw poll. You'll notice that Sarah Palin got 3%, Mike Huckabee got 2% because they weren't there.
You were there.
But the straw poll was taken before I spoke. They shut down the straw poll on Friday. I spoke Saturday, and so I was in the position of Palin and Huckabee. For the purpose of the straw poll, I didn't get to speak, which is fine. I mean, they got to have rules, and that's fine with me. I enjoyed getting to speak to that audience. It's an audience of a lot of young people, some of whom came up to me after and said, gee, I tried to vote for you today, but they told us that we couldn't vote anymore.
Okay. What about the front runners, though, as we mentioned, Palin, Huckabee, Romney, Gingrich? What do you offer they don't?
Well, they're good people, all friends of mine. I have a record as governor. I have a record of cutting spending, and I talked yesterday not only about we ought to cut spending, I talked about how we've cut spending in Mississippi and how if you did the same things in the federal government, you would save tens of billions of dollars a year. I talked about how we cut the biggest entitlement program in Mississippi, and we've done it in a way where the people who are on Medicaid haven't been hurt. We've squeezed out of the system through management and by making sure that everybody who's on Medicaid is actually eligible. We have saved in Medicaid hundreds of millions of dollars over the course of my time as governor. That would be hundreds of billions of dollars if you applied the same reforms to the federal government.
But I want to follow up on the question of your record as governor. As you say, you say you cut spending by hundreds of millions of dollars and that you balance the budget without raising taxes. But the Cato Institute, certainly a conservative group, gives you only a C on its fiscal scorecard, saying Haley Barbour's tax and spending record over 7 years as governor has not been very conservative. They say you reinstated a tax on hospitals, increased taxes on cigarettes, 50 cents a pack, and that spending rose 43% during your first term.
Chris, what they said was, mistakenly, that I created a new tax on hospitals. Then they found out,
you did reinstate
but then they found out, no, that was wrong, and they scored me down because they said I created this tax on hospitals. Of course, the tax on hospitals existed while I was there. It existed when I became governor. The federal government,
but you did reinstate it.
The federal government made us change the way we collected it. They said we were cheating, essentially, and a bunch of other states, it wasn't just Mississippi, said y'all have got to collect this a different way. We did reinstate it after 4 years. The hospitals got a $360 million tax cut during those 4 years.